Mike, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to do an interview for our YouTube audience. For those of you who
Well,
do not know me, my name is Iris Yim. I am Mr. Yim Mau-Kun's daughter, and I also help him with his YouTube channel and website. And because Mr. Yim is not very tech savvy, so he needs a bit of assistance. But we have today Mike. How do you pronounce your last name?
Buchel.
Buchel. Okay.
Buchel. Yeah, that's the
Buchel.
difficult one.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, Mike. Thank you. So, Mike, studied with Mr. Yim in Taipei, um, a while back, and he was actually in Taipei for a few months. So, we are going to uh, talk about his art journey and also his experience studying with Mr. Yim in Taipei. So, first of all, could you give us a self-introduction?
Well, my name is Mike Buchel. I'm an Austrian artist. I was born in 81 here. And well, I left the country pretty early because I had a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. I wanted to have a lot of adventure, and the life of an artist was always very appealing for me, especially for these reasons, because it was always like a exotic, adventurous lifestyle what I wanted to live. But I couldn't see it in my hometown, so I was searching where in the world is my place, and I went with when I was 18 and I finished school. I packed my things and I went away, and had then quite some adventures in my life because I had no money at all and I had to survive somehow. And but art was always my main focus. And for this reason, then I went to Mexico. I studied in Mexico. I started to study, and then I went to Palestine. I lived for a while in Palestine and had to teach myself there. And well, then I went to your father, to Taipei,
Mhm.
and I loved it. After that, I went to a Flemish classical atelier in Belgium. I learned as well, and then Florence Academy of Art and Angel Academy of Art in Florence. And after that, I thought it's enough and I have to stand on my own feet. So there I
Oh,
am now back to Vienna, and this is my home base now.
lovely. And I saw that you have a couple of paintings in the background. So,
Yeah, yeah.
what is your primary medium and why does it resonate with you?
I love to work in charcoal and in oils. These are my main medium. The charcoal is such a natural thing, it's just a little piece of burnt wood and it's so archaic, so simple that for this reason I just love it. And on the other hand, the oils, because the oils are they're exactly opposite. They are very elegant, very smooth, very complicated, and it's like a prima donna, It's you have to handle it with care, and I love both sides.
Oh, those are certainly a very different media. Okay.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
so, remind me, when did you study in Taipei?
I think it's about 10 years ago already.
Okay, it's around the time of 2014, 2015.
I'm very bad with dates, but something like this,
Okay,
yes,
it's
yes.
been a long time.
A
Okay.
long time.
Okay. So, it's a long way for you to travel to Taipei to study. So, how did you hear about Mr. Yim and what made you decide to study in Taipei?
I was always searching for. what I want. And it's not easy, you know, especially in the beginning. You don't know where to go, and there are so many paths which are all interesting. And I remember that I saw a picture of a drawing of well, his work, a charcoal drawing, and I was blown away of the quality of it and his style. And both things were such an impact on me that I think, if I remember well, that I wrote you an email because I couldn't communicate directly with your father.
Right.
And you introduced me and you made the connection. And yeah, from there, you know the story.
Right. I remember that. And I remember your wife's travel with you to Taipei as well. And in fact,
That's true.
she was a model in the studio, like because for portrait classes, the studio often
Yeah.
needs to hire models, and she sat for a few classes, I believe.
Yeah, and you know, she was somehow exotic because she's very blonde and blue eyes, and yeah, so I think people loved to paint her,
Yeah.
and I still paint her a lot. So you know, I married my best muse.
Lovely. And I remember that she sold her piano to fund your trip to Taipei. At least that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
heard.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your experience in Taipei and also studying with Mr. Yim in his studio.
Uh, well, it was for me, it was the best experience of all that I had because he was exactly what I needed in this moment. And you mean now the daily routine, or you in general,
So,
or
how long did you
okay.
study in Taipei?
I think for half a year or something like this, 6 months, 7 months, maybe. You know, I didn't have very much money in this time, and it was very difficult to work. It was impossible to work in Taipei for me.
Right.
And as you said, my wife helped me a lot with that, but our financial resources were limited. So,
Right.
yeah, this was just a short period. If I would have had the possibility to stay longer, for sure, I would have
Mm-hmm.
stayed.
Okay, so what did you learn from Mr. Yim and in his studio? What specific techniques or principle did you learn from him that were particularly helpful for you?
Well, I learned the basics there. Everything what I needed. I got structure, I got organization, and all those things I needed to learn urgently because I didn't know what is it, how is the hierarchy hierarchy of
Mm-hmm.
things that I need to learn because you know make maybe 2 years the wrong thing and then you know that it's you could have spent this time much more effective than you did, and for me this was very important. And well, you know, it was the basics. He learned me how light and shadow is working, about composition, about materials, how oils are working, and of course the best thing for me was looking over his shoulder, seeing what he is doing, and then trying to apply it on the canvas or on the paper. This was the main thing for me, what was important.
Right. So, what did you pick up when you observed him when he was drawing or doing oil painting? What did you learn
Well,
from
a
his
lot.
observations?
Well, I learned a lot, and I'm still applying everything what I learned there. I'm applying in my work every day because, as I said, it's he never wanted to teach a certain style. He wanted to teach a method, and this method I'm still applying, but in my own style. And this is one thing I appreciated very much in him because he never wanted to influence me with his own style, but wanted to give me all what I need to develop my own thing, what I have in mind, and this is very valuable. I
Uh,
learned from in my later life in the other academies and universities. I learned that this is not normal.
I
So
see. Okay. Speaking of which, so how does his style differ from other art teachers or mentors you have had in the past?
teaching style or painting style? Teaching style, you mean, I
Yeah, teaching
imagine.
style. Mm-hmm.
Teaching style. Well, the most important thing for me, I had I had so many different teachers, and I learned the most from Mr. Yim Mau-Kun. And this is because he was really passionate to teach, and you can see that he has a real passion for the art itself. And I think this is much more important than teaching techniques or whatever, because when you give this spark to your students, then they know why they are doing this. They know they have the energy and the power to go this difficult path because it's not
Right,
always easy, you know.
right,
You don't know if you can make a living out of it. You are not. You go into a museum and you see all these perfect paintings or into the internet, and then you compare it with your work, and it's it's not an easy task. And he always gave me this, like grandpa, what I never had really, where you look up and you say, okay, life is easy, go on and you will go there.
mm,
And this was a very important thing for me. But on the other hand, he is very strict. And this is also something what I appreciated very much because you have to work hard if
mm-hmm.
you want to reach your goals. And the combination of both is very um, well balanced in him, in
Okay.
my opinion.
What is he strict about?
Well, if you don't do it like he says, if you don't understand the lecture, don't pass to the next one. So
Okay. I
you draw a cast, and you draw another cast, and you draw another cast, and
okay.
until he's satisfied, and then he say, "Well, okay, this was great work," and like this, I think that's the way to learn. And he was always so kind and nice to me, and I think as I said, we had no possibility to communicate
Yeah,
because
how
I
did you
didn't speak.
communicate?
Yeah, we communicated on the paper. So we're
Okay.
withdrawing, and I loved that fact. He always went to his students, and some of them were really nice sometimes to explain what he was teaching.
Right.
But he normally went to the students and he said, do this, do that, and try this. And I don't know what he said because I didn't understand. But uh, with me, he couldn't work like this. So
Right.
he kicked me off my chair and he sat down and started to make a drawing.
Okay, I see.
So he showed me directly what he wanted to say to me, and this was sometimes really fun because sometimes I had my messy drawing, and then he came and I had this little masterpiece in my big messy painting or drawing, and I knew exactly what I have to do.
I
I
see.
understood it because it was exactly my problem at this moment, what I
Okay.
couldn't. And sometimes the other students came to me and told me, you can't work on this paper or canvas because
Mm,
he touched it, the master touched it. So you have to give it to the side and start a new one. And
I
I
see.
did this 2 or 3 times, and then I said, guys, I can't always start a new one when the master is touching my
Oh,
my
okay.
paper. So I still have them. It's really really nice to look at them. Yeah.
I see. I see. So are there any memorable moments or lessons from your time with Mr. Yim in his studio that you
Well, this
still think
was
about or apply today?
well, this is what I just told you, no? It's
Okay.
yeah, it's uh this is one anecdote what I remember, but you know, I apply almost everything what I learned there in my work. It's not that I just make it in my own way, but his teachings were so general that if I would like to forget everything what he told me, then you know there's nothing left because it was a very important step in my life to learn this lesson, and then I could build everything what I have in my mind on top of it.
Hmm.
And yeah, this is something what I really liked a lot there.
I see. It sounds to me that he helped you build a solid foundation for you to continue on your art journey.
That's it. Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so I saw that, you are successful, you can make a living now in Austria. So how does his teaching and your experience in Taipei affect your approach, your artistic approach and the work that you do today?
Well, as I said, you know, it's everything.
Hmm.
So there is nothing without his teachings because I just can't cut them out.
I see.
It's what I am at the moment, no? Because I
Hmm.
learned in a certain moment, I learned what I needed, and
Hmm.
I applied in every work. And I'm sure that maybe with a lot of things he wouldn't agree that it's not his style, but it's still, you know, it's the foundation what I learned there. And
I see.
so it's yeah, you can't separate it. It's like water. It's mixed together with me, and you can't separate it anymore. I don't know if you know what I mean, but yeah.
Okay. I guess I understand because he helped you build a foundation, so you can see that foundation in all the work that you do. So,
Yes, and for
is that
this
right?
reason, he's always an influence on me, and for this
Mm-hmm.
reason, until now, until this day, it's always present.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So anything that that he said, any words that you remember that are most, I guess, memorable, because I know that um just as you said, in addition to techniques, he actually in his lectures likes to talk about his own experience or his philosophies, his passion about art in order to motivate his students. So anything that you remember that are particularly memorable?
Well, that's as well a very difficult question because I didn't understand the word what he was saying
Right.
the whole day. So,
But
but
what about through
I understand.
translation?
Yeah, it's that was a more difficult thing. But what for me was much more important was his energy
I see.
because you know it's he took art really serious, and this was something what I really appreciated a lot. I was he noticed that I'm working hard, and he was so kind and gave me the keys to his studio because the lessons were only I think when I
Monday
remember
and Tuesday.
yeah, it's 3 hours or 4 hours or something like this.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the rest of the time I could work in his studio, and he trusted me, and I could go there, and the whole studio had a very strong energy because. I I thought that there is somebody working really hard to get to a point and is still enjoying it a lot. And this energy was for me much more important than every word. You know, I read so many artist books. I talked with so many professors, and you know, when they are not inspiring, it's just only words. And the
I
words,
see.
they don't mean anything if you don't have somebody who really can transmit the emotions behind the words. And your father, for me, although I didn't understand a word what he was saying, but I looked at him and I knew that I'm on the right place.
I see. Okay. So tell us about your work. So the kind of work that you do, your where do you draw inspiration, and basically how you are doing on your art journey.
Well, I had some difficult years, of course. As an artist, it's never easy. And after 8 years or so, when I wanted to give up, because I said, you know, I can't do it anymore. I am working so many hours every week, and for my wife as well, it was not an easy time. And in this moment, when I wanted to give up, I got a great commission to work. And I said, well, I finished this commission and then I stop. And then it never stopped.
Wow.
I got exhibitions and my work became clearer. My path became clearer. I make now big figurative painting. And my my motivation or my ideas come mostly from literature or from people that inspire me. I make as well movies. I love movies, and I get an idea and I try to transform it into my style. And you know, every gallerist told me, you know, your work is much too big, much too classical, and nobody will buy it, and you will never find a place to exhibit it. And I continued to do it, and exactly what I did was that I had success after it because I didn't do it the traditional way, like
Right,
they told me I should do. I made it in my own way, and I think this it's very important to stay authentic.
right.
And if it's for the market or not, it's not important. But you have to, if you lose your authenticity, then you lose everything, I think. So I went my way, and somehow I met the right people, and yeah, so I'm very glad that I'm at the moment at this point where I can say, well, it's working nice. And
Well,
it's not an easy time to say that
right,
because,
right.
yeah,
Well, congratulations. I understand that you
thank
also
you.
now have your own studio.
I have my own studio, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's not every artist has, his own studio, right? Has the
and I
space
have
to
a very
work
nice one.
in. Right, right. Um, could you tell us about the paintings you have in the background?
Yeah, this is, as I said, I get a lot of inspiration from movies.
I
This
see.
is a homage to Paolo Sorrentino. He's an Italian movie maker, director, film director, and he makes one of the best movies I've seen. I love them, and I always wanted to, yeah, to make a homage to him. And this is what came out, and this painting goes now to Dubai next week.
Ah, very nice. What about the other one?
The, the
The,
other
the
one
oil
is
painting.
okay, yeah. This one, yeah, this one is a newer one. I just finished it maybe a month ago, and I was walking in the streets of Vienna, and I saw a girl walking on the street, and I said, "Wow, I have to paint her." So I approached her and I said, "You know, you have to stand the model for me." And it turns out that she was a professional model, so it was easy to
Wow.
convince. And yeah, this is the third painting with her now, no, second painting with her now, and. Yeah, I love it. It's something more abstract. It's like I don't think that you can see the details because it's more like how we came from a raw nature into something very controlled and elegant and fine, and the journey in between
Mm,
and uh, the tension in between those two poles is the theme of this painting.
I see. Very nice. So, for the people who are interested in your art, and where can they find your art or information about you?
Well, the easiest way is Google.
Mm-hmm.
With when you type in my name, you get my Instagram, you get my Facebook, you come to my website. I have exhibitions in Austria. I have next year a big exhibition in Hong Kong.
I see.
And yeah, all the news of new exhibitions and where they are, I normally send out with newsletters when people want to send me an email, then I
Mm-hmm.
can respond to that.
Okay, great. Well, we will include all that information in the description of this video so that yeah, for people who are interested, they can check out all those resources. Is there anything else you would like to share about your experience with Mr. Yim or your art journey?
Well, I can confess something.
Okay.
I when I was there, I took a pencil sharpener from your father, and I still use it every day, and it reminds me of my time when I was there, and that's really I
Oh,
like that.
is there anything special about the pencil sharpener?
No, it's just an object, but you know, it's an object from there, from this time, from your
Okay.
father, and yeah, it's not. No, it's just a normal cutter.
Okay. All right.
So,
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for
well,
sharing
thank
your
you for having me.
experience with us.
Thank you.
All right.